the 2K Sports pregame show.
Here we are with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. In this game, we'll see the Chicago Bulls against the Washington Wizards. Well, for Washington, they managed to take Game 1 of the season series against this team, looking to seal their series advantage with a win tonight. And Kenny, we have lots to talk about. One thing coming up on the horizon, the trade deadline. Front offices have had time to evaluate rosters. What are your feelings about blockbuster in-season trades?
Huge deals are rare in the season, Ernie. You know,
huge
typically
deals.
Huge deals. You know, but typically they come in the offseason because teams have time to nurture and bring them together. But there have been some great trades in midseason. So you can find new life right after the trade deadline, a la Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, to get us our second championship.
Good point. New players would be slow to acclimate. But, Ernie, I think at times you risk disrupting chemistry.
Sometimes worth the risk and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't.
Kevin Harlan, take it away.
Nightfall in the Windy City with the Willis Tower and the rest of downtown Chicago lighting up the sky. Chicago, Illinois, home of the Bulls in a fine Eastern Conference battle at the United Center. This is Kevin Harlan. We've got Chris Webber and Greg Anthony with us, and from the sideline, we'll be hearing from David Aldridge. Wizards will kick off their road trip right here. This is a game they expect to win. They come into this matchup confident and ready to take care of business.
And this is a chance for them to go 2-0 against this team. They won that first meeting, and with a 3-game season series, they can clinch a winning record against them here tonight.
But don't underestimate how much that drives the team. Go out and wrap up a victory in the season series right away. Don't leave it up to that third and final game.
Well, the NBA has some great advanced scouts who know how to help a team prepare for an opponent. When you played, Chris, what kind of information would you be given with a team that was coming up on the schedule or the game that night that was important for you?
Well, wow, my rookie year, I remember the first time I got a scouting, the playoff scouting report, and I had to understand how many times the player I was playing against would shoot over his right shoulder as opposed to his left shoulder, and the percentage of the times he liked it on the left box as opposed to the right box. And really just knowing the guys and understanding the habits, and so you really need that. It gives you confidence because, as I said, you can't check one player. It's just so hard to do. So what do you have to do? You have to check their tendencies, so maybe you can beat him to the spot that he likes before he can, because if he gets there, he's just going to destroy you. Scouting reports are everything to understand your opponent and your opposing team.
Did you keep, Chris, a mental notebook, or would you have a notebook that you would write in to keep track of these players, the guys you would face?
I had a mental notebook. The teams would give us physical notebooks, but I would just kind of read them and make my mental notes. You get to see guys so often that if you don't kind of understand who a player is that night before you play him, it might be too late.
And now Washington starting group. The explosive backcourt is Wall and Beal at the 1 and 2. Porter is out there with Mike Scott. And it's Gortat in at the 5, roaming the paint. And last season, Greg, you heard a lot of names brought up for most improved player in the league, and Otto Porter was one of them.
I mean, and I think for Porter, the change came when he just felt more comfortable from deep in terms of shooting. He always had a solid mid-range game, but now he looks comfortable from deep and has become one of the bigger threats we have in the league.
Free throw good, Porter.
You know, the versatility of Porter is huge. I mean, he's an outstanding perimeter defender, in addition also to being a proven scorer.
Now Now, here's Grant. Last game we saw him score 14. Lopez kicks to Grant. Bulls moving the ball around. Lopez a screen. And Levine, here we go. Count it. Levine's got his first points of the night.
You see Lopez give his body up right there? Well, that's because he takes pride in setting good, hard screens to free up his guys.
Scott can't get it to go.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
Well, a good attempt to try to finish that alley-oop still should have went for something better than that, though.
Now, here's Wall. Jaren Grant missing his last shot. And Wall kicks to Beal. Washington gets it back, and a new 24. The Bulls have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Lopez a screen. Here's Holiday.
My goodness, that was absolutely filthy.
Oh, nasty. This building is stunned. He dug deep, Greg, into his bag of tricks there. Now, here's Wall. With an average of around 19.5 points a game, his scoring has been a constant for them. Scott with a screen on Holiday. 6 to shoot. Shot from 12. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
Oh, I like watching Porter fill it up from the mid-range, demonstrating a nice touch from the in-between area of the floor.
Now let's find out what head coach Scott Brooks had to say to David Aldridge. D.A.?
Well, Kevin, they have a specific approach to tonight's game. He told me they have to get the ball into the paint as much as possible and take advantage of what they believe is a big inch for them inside. We'll see if they're right about that tonight. Back to you.
Thanks so much, David.
The Bulls have been very active in revamping this roster. A lot of trades and player movement. They were worried of becoming a treadmill team.
With some lackluster finishes to their season the last couple years, that worry of finishing poorly isn't going away for Bulls fans. But luckily, the Bulls have a history, Chris, of shaking things up.
It's never easy to make that choice. The front office has been proactive in shaking things up. Not easy, but they are committed to change right now.
Now, here's Grant after Gortat's miss. Back to Grant. Levine against Beal. Shoots from 12. Here's Lopez, and so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And Lopez is a long, wily guy. Remarkable at utilizing his size, especially inside, where he has the respect.
That free throw missing. Markieff Morris is checked in for Gortat. He hits the second from the line.
You know, for a while now, the Wizards have felt that they are just one key piece away from being a major player in the East. And they've yet to find that player in free agency, but to their credit, they've tried a number of times.
Now here's Wall. Outside, Scott. He dishes it to Beal. Morris with the screen for Beal. Misses the 3. And with the Wizards and free agency, they missed out on Durant and Horford, to name a few.
And really, the last major signing they had was Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas. Unfortunately, the Wizards have had some bloated contracts on their books.
Now Grant. Bradley Beal missing from long range. Here's Levine. And again, no good by Chicago. And a wide open look for Porter. And that one goes out of bounds. It's touched by Porter. Well, it's not just point guards that can pass the rock. Here are the assist leaders among shooting guards over the span of the last month. 4th, Bradley Beal.
And what that group has a great understanding of is the importance of ball movement. I mean, they can all create their own shot, but their superb ability to set up teammates really stands out.
For them, it's not about getting just an open shot, but the most open shot, the best open shot. They're just a really selfless team.
And Chicago has possession. Grant with the ball. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Holiday gets the bucket. Here's Wall. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And it's sent back by Lopez.
And Lopez is out there to set the tone defensively. I mean, he's a wily, strong defender who sends shots back with authority.
Grant kicks to Markkanen. Back to Grant. Pass to Markkanen. His first shot coming late. Another shot. And Lopez with a nice bucket inside.
Oh, well, Lopez is terrific on the offensive glass. I love seeing him use his long arms to haul in the boards.
Beal against Levine. The dish to Markkanen. Holiday the pass to Markkanen. Levine against Beal. Levine can't hit.
Well, defensively, they could have done better. That's an open look he'd like to have back.
Grant against Wall. Goes back up. Morris, no good.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
Now, here's Grant. The kick out to Lopez. Back to Grant. And stolen by Scott. Wall against Grant.
That's just great awareness from the savvy point guard. Wall is excellent at sharing the wealth.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Yeah, struggled to shoot the basketball in that game, but still found a way, if you will. I mean, they had to pick up the slack in a lot of other areas, and they did.
I'm proud of the way they hustled and essentially gutted out a victory, even though things always weren't going their way.
So Chicago ends up going with a new group, and a new group getting ready for the Wizards. Yorgos Papagiannis is checked in for Mike Scott. Oubre comes in for Porter. Satoransky's checked in for Bradley Beal. And it's Ellis in for John Wall.
Look at this. I like this team basketball, keeping the ball moving until they find the right shot.
Ellis kicks to Papagiannis. Now here's Oubre. He's guarded closely. Wants to get it to Morris and does. 5 on the clock. Over Vonleh. And the shot is long.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
No good on the 3.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Now Oubre, 11 points for him in that last game against Boston. And the jam by Oubre.
Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rim. Well, you look at Markieff Morris, and you see a player, Greg, who is finally meeting his potential.
And you know what? Give credit to Morris, because he's fallen in line with the team and the staff here. I think he's always had the talent to be an impact player. It just took a structured situation for him to really flourish, and I think he's found a home here in Washington.
Now, here's Valentine. Kelly Oubre unable to get his last shot to go. Zipser kicks to G. Now here's Valentine. He's tightly guarded. Out to the right wing. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. Portis, and he banks in the layup. Portis has got his first bucket of the night.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
It's deflected. They get it back. Chicago leading by 5. It's stolen by Morris. Here's Oubre, and it's denied.
His percentage from the field is not very strong this quarter.
Valentine passes to Portis. The feed now to Valentine. Kicks to Vonleh. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Shot clock at 6. G, no good. Wizards trailed by 5. 50 seconds left in the first quarter. They set the pick. Here's Ellis. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. It goes on Denzel Valentine.
And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Greg, cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes.
But guys, the defense knows he has this ability, correct? Yet no one thinks to put a body on him? Incredible.
Here's Zipser. And the pass to G. Here's Portis. And again, Chicago. No good. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
And here is Ellis. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Here's Oubre, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. It goes on Noah Vonleh. The Wizards have made 2 of their previous 3 free throws in today's game.
And I think this is a strength of this team. Solid numbers at the line across the board, 77% collectively.
And the first one at the line is good. And both free throws good for Oubre.
Well, he's not making any mistakes up there today. Another solid trip to the line for him.
G. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. It's Chicago. They lead by 1. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And John Wall spoke prior to the game. He talked about the identity of the Wizards team.
Defensively, just being that gritty and grimy team that makes it tough for teams to score in their paint. I think we can be a very great team.
The Wizards not exactly the first team that you think of when it comes to gritty and grimy team defense, but maybe he's really got a point here on how tough the Washington defense can be.
And you don't get there without the defense. I'm especially impressed that Wall has that mindset.
And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
Just playing suffocating defense. That's been the difference here for them.
And really, for the whole first quarter, they've maintained their intensity. Let's see how long they can sustain it.
So on the floor for Washington, we've got Ellis. Oubre out there with Gortat, and it's Papagiannis in at the 4. Passes it to Satoransky. Ellis outside. Over Valentine, and that one's good. Ellis has got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Wizards. A lot of history here with the Wizards and Washington. A lot of great players have worn the jersey, yourself included, Chris. Do you have a favorite Wizard or Bullet player you like to watch?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did. Juwan Howard. I love watching him go to work in that great All-Star season that he had. Wes Unseld, he's had a huge influence on so many bigs. Elvin Hayes, I mean, his name is all over the franchise record book. So many players. John Wall now.
So often there are some players who have one unstoppable move or something that they'll lean on if their team needs a basket. What did you feel your go-to move was when you were playing?
You know, I've said this many times. I just felt like my go-to move was just get a bucket. And so it depended on where I was on the floor. You know, I love the jump hook from the left block looking in, my 15-foot jumper, 17-foot jumper. I felt that if I came off a pick and roll and I caught the ball live, I could drive or I could shoot the jumper that if you were a big fella, you were at my mercy. And so, you know, those were really my spots on the floor to really try to do damage. So, you know, it's just about the point guard, the team that you're playing with, where shooters are on the floor in case you get double teamed and just kind of knowing your game. And so I felt comfortable on many spots on the floor, and depending on what spot on the floor, time and possession, that's where I was going to go and just try to be successful.
I always felt you read well. You reacted well after your read.
Yeah, because, you know, I grew up on teams where coaches, you know, would want me to do the correct play, and just because you can shoot a jump hook, your favorite shot over 2 people, but if you have a wide open, great knockdown shooter in the corner, you're supposed to make that pass. And so that's what I mean about, you know, what's your favorite move. It really depends on where I was, because a lot of times it was to get my shot first, and then if I knew the defense was coming, it was to identify where that next guy was going to be. So if I didn't score, I was going to get the ball to the guy that was. And it was an easy way to kind of control the pace and the play from the game from that post position.
The Bulls have shot 80% from the line tonight, going 4 of 5 so far. And he knocks down the first one.
And they struggled a bit at the line in the first quarter, but they have been terrific in the second, up to almost 85% overall.
Markkanen, he's checked in for the Bulls. Lean comes in for G, and a switcher also for Washington. Porter's checked in. Now here's Wall. Feeds it to Beal. Right side, Porter. Fires from deep. Excellent D there from Holiday. Chicago leading by 3. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts, and a chance for one more here.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
Sharon Grant, he's checked in for Denzel Valentine. For Chicago, they have shot 6 of 7 at the line.
And it took them a while to find their touch at the line, but they have been red hot here in the second quarter.
Wall dishes to Porter. Back to Wall. They need this. The shot will not fall, so the Bulls will take it the other way. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one, and that will be the 3rd of 5 straight played at home. And there's the foul. It'll go on Jaren Grant. That's his first foul.
And gets physical on the boards and just really pays for it with the over-the-back call.
I'd like to see him use his head a little more than his body for the rest of the game. Don't get caught out of position in the first place.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Back to Porter, taken away by Holiday. Now here's Grant. In the corner, it's Levine. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
This is his first chance at the line tonight.
He's been doing really nice work at the line. 83%.
Good on both. Wizards trail by 8. Outside, Wall. Beal with a screen on Grant. Back to Porter. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Markkanen kicks to Levine. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Wizards have gotten off to a rough start here in the second quarter, going just 1 for 5.
You watch Bradley Beal play, and it seems like he's been in the league for a long time. And then you see his age, and you're surprised on how young he still is. Younger than most of the top shooting guards in the league.
Levine for 3. Again, Levine missing.
Boy, he has been cold for a while now.
And it's sad because the team relies on him to be a threat offensively. When he's rolling, that makes them a much more dynamic offense.
And with Beal being so young, you know, we saw the jump in his production last year, Chris, but he still is on the verge of entering his prime.
Yeah, you think about this. Guards usually hit their prime between 26 and 29 or so. Beal still has some time before he gets to the top of his game. You wonder just what he'll be capable of when that time comes.
And both free throws good for Oubre. The Bulls leading by 4. Grant the pass to Holiday. Back to Grant. Pass to Holiday. Here's Lopez. Goes up again, and it's good on the way in. Lopez has got 5 now.
Well, the arms of Lopez going forever, which is why he's able to create for himself.
Wall dishes to Porter. Levine against Beal. Shot off the screen. Rebound by the Bulls.
Not quite airtight defense right there, but his release was a little bit off on the jump.
And it's just one of those days, guys. He has just struggled to shoot the basketball.
Now here's Porter. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Boston.
Oh, and don't forget about the heavy lifting he did on the glass all evening. He controlled the game in a number of ways. Just an unbelievable effort on the glass tonight.
Here's Grant. 6-point lead. Markkanen kicks to Levine. Markkanen sets the pick for Levine. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Bradley Beal picks one up. Well, you look around the NBA, and there are some incredible athletes. Chris, in your opinion, which players in the league right now are the most physically imposing when you see them in action?
3 people come to mind. First, DeAndre Jordan, just his size and stature, and then when you see him run like a little fella and jump with the best of them, it is so intimidating seeing him out there on that court. LeBron, I mean, you still might say he has the best basketball body ever, being that 6'7", 6'8" frame, whatever he goes by, with a bunch of muscle behind it, being able to use his quickness and strength to get to the post. You just have to love it. And then Antetokounmpo, one of the most unique players we've seen with his length, his size, Mr. Stretch Armstrong, but he gets it done on both ends of the floor, and I just think his unique body style and skill set makes him fun to watch as well.
Markkanen and the Bulls with another miss. Wizards trail by 4. Wall passes to Porter. Beal with it. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. That one also a miss for him, just like the other 3 attempts this game. And Holiday with the basket on the assist by Levine.
That lead's only going to keep growing if he keeps shooting like he has so far.
Wall with it, now defended by Grant. Wall dishes to Morris. It's Beal on the wing. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
I mean, wow. The scoring ability of Beal is so impressive.
And we all know that Bradley Beal was one of the early benefactors of the new contracts handed out in the NBA. Chris, as you know, got a 5-year deal worth almost $130 million. Some questioned it, but he has stepped up since signing long-term here.
Yeah, and with Beal, you knew he had the talent. It was just a matter of staying on the floor to earn that contract. I mean, since signing, he's had career best in several different categories. This team showed faith in Beal, and he's rewarded.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Yeah, that won't go on the stat sheet, close to getting the block, but really had the same effect.
Grant kicks to Markkanen. Good work defensively by Morris.
Even that close to the bucket, that's a very tough finish in that kind of traffic.
They set the pick. Wall wide open. And again, Washington with the triple.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Chicago calls timeout.
If you're talking about the elite passers in the game, John Wall has to be on that list. He's averaged a double-double with assists for 7 years running. He has vision and knows how to find teammates after defenses collapse on him.
The Bulls making a switch here. Zipser's checked in. And then for Washington, Yorgos Papagiannis is checked in for Mike Scott. And Satoransky subbed in for John Wall. Grant kicks to Levine. Back to Grant. Dishes it to Markkanen. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. It's good from long range. And with Wall and his passing last season, Chris, he became the all-time franchise leader in assists for the Wizards.
And I believe that it was Wes Unsell's record that he broke. I mean, that's great company to be in. Those two had different ways to get their assists, but both great passes. And you get the feeling Wall can still get better.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Beal can't get that one to fall. Now Chicago has gone 1 of 4 from 3-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. It's deflected. In the corner, it's Levine. Shoots over Beal, and it's wide right. It's off the rim.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
Satoransky, the pass to Beal. Morris with the screen for Beal. That doesn't go either for Beal. Chicago leading. Pass to Zipser. Back to Grant from deep. Here's Lopez. That's good, and he's now 3 for 4 from the field.
And they've been working hard on the offensive glass here in the second, and it's paying dividends. They're getting a lot of second chance points.
Here's Satoransky. Last time out, he had 14 points. And Porter, here we go. Can't cash in from close range.
I That's how you protect the rim. Stand your ground and make him alter his release.
Markkanen dishes to Lopez. Zipser kicks to Levine. Right wing. Here's Grant. And it's off target. Not sure why he took that one.
He's been off target for the most part, but it hasn't held them back as a unit.
Count it. 9 points for Otto Porter Jr.
Look, Porter's confidence continues to surge. A skilled sniper off the trip.
Grant kicks to Lopez.
If they increase the tempo, they got a chance at a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it's a combination of urgency and efficiency. Let's see how they execute.
Great positioning on the putback.
Exceptional instincts on the offensive boards and didn't try to slam it home. Tipping it in was all he needed.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Grant kicks to Levine. Back to Grant. Latre hands it from downtown. Grant's got 6 points in the quarter. This tug-of-war game continues.
And guys, that's lucky number 7 already in this game.
Satoransky the pass to Beal. But they recover it. And released it in time, but it's off the mark.
The scrappy nature of Lopez is one of his best attributes. He doesn't give up anything easy to shoot.
And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Bulls lead by 2. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Zach, a hard-fought first half. What changes have to be made to get a little separation?
They're making tough shots.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports
Welcome
Halftime
back, folks.
Show.
Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. It was a closely contested first quarter for Chicago. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. The second quarter was a tight battle, but they were the slightly better team. Not by very much, however. And Kenny, what did you think about what you saw from Chicago?
Well, so far, they've taken care of their business here at home. It's something you might expect, but it's not a given. We'll see if they can keep that up in the second half.
And over to Shaq, your take on the Wizards.
Well, those second chance points are huge, and they only came because of their effort. Their work on the offensive glass is what's keeping them in the game. They definitely should try to continue to stay tough on the glass. It's been key so far.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. And Chicago shooting around 36%. They're just not able to finish consistently. Third quarter action getting rolling right now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. Taking a look at the Bulls. Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Grant is out there with Levine, and it's Holiday in at the 3, the small forward. Beal on the foul. Beal's got it all tied up now for Washington.
Oh, well, it's great seeing Beal get after it on the offensive glass. He's solid at putting himself in a good position to snag rebounds.
Basket counts, and that's now 7 points for Zach LaVine.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Well, it takes a lot of confidence and toughness to make that play.
Here's Papagiannis. And Bradley Beal again. Beal's got 9.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
To the wing on the left. Holiday dishes to Levine. He kicks to Lopez. 6 to shoot. Markkanen. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And Washington called for the foul.
And Markkanen is skilled at drawing fouls once he establishes position. Uses that height to get the defense to commit.
And Washington making a change here. Gortat's checked in. And Chris, you were the #1 overall draft pick back in 1993. We've seen a lot of greats taken with that pick, but it also seems that those #1 picks who aren't as successful face a lot of pressure, a lot of criticism. There's a lot on your plate to handle. Can you talk about that for us?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure for some players being the #1 pick. But I've always laughed and I've thought about players that maybe people say maybe they were a bust, maybe this player wasn't good. Well, I think you should go back and look at the GM that picked them. I mean, the GM is the guy that assesses talent, you know. So when there were a few players that were picked #1, and many players said, "What are you doing? We've played against him. We would never pick him #1." So before that, I think the NBA is about opportunity and situation. Look at a guy like Chauncey Billups. He went to Boston. He didn't do well at Boston. They called him a malcontent, said he couldn't play, and then he ended up being one of the best leaders that the game had. And so this game is all about situation and opportunity. Can you find the right fit? That's why if you're a player, you can't let frustration get to you. You have to continue to work hard, continue to prove your game, because when you play, you're auditioning for the other teams in the league as well. They're saying, wait a minute, we see his unique talent, skills, and we see his unique skill set, and we could use him. And so many times you just have to wait for the right position, the right situation.
He misses the free throw.
And it's the little things that Marcin Gortat is so good at that helps you at that center position. His awareness of space, strong in the pick and roll, and also a solid finisher at the rim.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Portis is checked in for Lopez. Vonleh comes in for Markkanen. Valentine's checked in for Zach LaVine. And G's subbed in for Grant. Now here is Holiday. 12 points for him. Here's G. And the Bulls with another miss. And with Gortat, it's those little things like setting timely screens or Greg moving to open up room for others that make him so valuable.
Kevin, he is deadly in the pick and roll. One of the best screeners in terms of his effectiveness to create space. And usually he's near the top of the league in terms of baskets that are created off of his screens.
Here's G following the basket by John Wall. They set the screen. Valentine kicks to G. Here's Portis. And no good that time. Gortat with the defensive effort. Over in the corner, Ellis. Here's Scott. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Scott's got his first points of the night.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and then running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, I mean, you had to stop.
Well, that's why his size and length are so valuable. He altered the shot and collected the glass, all in a day's work.
Here's Wall. 7 points in the game. Plays it up and banks it in. And it's a 4-point Wizards lead.
And defensively, they've gotten a little careless, not playing with the same focus we saw in the first.
Chicago calls timeout. Wizards beat them last time when these two teams met in Washington.
And they lost a close one last time they saw each other. And you have to think that it was the foul trouble that really kept them from getting the win.
Yeah, several starters had to ride the bench, which is a shame because they were playing good. I mean, good aggressive basketball. Maybe too aggressive.
Now, here's Vonleh. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. G kicks to Holiday. He feeds it to Vonleh. And the 3 off target. Washington leading now by 4. And Wall. Here we go now. He's now made half of those 10 shots in the game. That's his 5th basket.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Oubre with the steal. Here's the teardrop. Now a chance, guys, to examine the rebounding numbers over the past months for Porter.
In the last few months, the rebounding has sort of taken a bit of a dive for him, and a lot of factors could be the cause, but it's a trend that coach would probably like to see him reverse.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre, the first rounder out of Kansas. I mean, he's a player that still has some development to do. He's great in open court, needs to be more consistent.
Morris is checked in for Washington. Bulls trail by 8. G kicks to Holiday. It's stolen by Morris. Right side, Wall. Ellis outside. Oubre, no one around him. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits.
And they are starting to pull away here as the shots continue to fall.
Well, you figured this might happen given how efficient their offense usually is.
We have a chance now to look at the teams that have created the most points off turnovers this season. The Wizards 5th.
They're so aware defensively. I mean, an opportunistic group in terms of forcing miscues and getting out in transition. And boy, do they do a great job of taking advantage.
Wall passes to Ellis. Rebound by the Bulls.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in, build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime. And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. Here's Washington now. They're on a 19-7 run. And the foul called on G. That is his first foul of the game. Paul Zipser, he's checked in for the Bulls. And a switcher also for Washington. Saransky's checked in for John Wall. Here's Satoransky. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. G kicks to Portis. He dishes it to G. Over to the left wing. Bulls moving the ball around. And the three off target.
It's clear this just isn't his night. I mean, if they're going to keep him on the floor, I think his best role would be to be a decoy.
And, folks, he did not luck into that one. He knew just where he wanted to be to grab that backboard.
Here's G after marching Gortat's bucket. The wide open look here for Vonleh. Hits the three-point bomb. Vonleh's got it back down to single digits for the Bulls. Now Ellis. There's the dish to Oubre. Over in the corner, Ellis expanding his range. And again, Washington with the triple. Chicago's gone 2 of 5 with the three-point shot since coming out of the break. Kicks it to Valentine. And there's the pass to Zipser. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Washington leading now by 10. To the middle, here's Gortat, and it's Gortat finishing it off.
When being that Gortat is almost 7 feet tall, he's a threat to dunk. Like seeing him get off the ground before the D can react.
Here's G. He's guarded by Ellis. Here's Valentine. Satoransky grabs the miss.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's Zipser. Here's Vonleh. Goes back up. That shot off. Good work defensively by Morris. Passes it to Satoransky. 13 feet away. Morris, no good. Bulls trail by 12. And some players, you just kind of know that they'll end up in coaching, just the way they approach the game and go about themselves. Chris, having played Hoiberg during your career, did you ever see him becoming a head coach?
Well, it's not as easy to tell your opponents versus your teammates. Didn't have a really close relationship with them, didn't know or his expectations, never played with them. So, no, I never saw it coming.
Again, the miss by Morris. And Chicago shooting an ugly 27% since halftime. G kicks to Portis. There's 53 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. The feed to Vonleh. Shot clock at 5. Here's Zipser. He trains it as the shot clock ticks down. Zipser's got his second basket of the game. Washington leading now by 10. And Satoransky kicks to Morris. Over Vonleh. Off the left rim and out. The Bulls shooting just 35%. They've got to get better looks. Pass to Portis. Here's Zipser. Feeds to G. Dishes to Vonleh. Here's G. And with that one, the lead is trimmed to single digits. G's got his second bucket of the night.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
From 11 feet away, yes, that goes in. 17 points for Kelly Oubre.
And he's been so dependable in this game, taking nothing but good shots.
And so it's Washington with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. Trailing to start the quarter, they battled hard and pulled off a tremendous comeback. Now enjoying the lead. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Fred Hoiberg in a recent huddle with his players.
Make them feel us now, all right? We got to guard them, all right? Contest everything and rebound. All 5 of you guys get in there and rebound that thing, all right?
Words of Fred Hoiberg moments ago asking for a full commitment to defense and rebounding. We'll see if he can get it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves offense. It's that shiny sports car, you know, but you have to do those other things to perform well consistently.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play getting started. Fourth quarter on the court for the Wizards. A great scoring pair of wings. Beal the 2, Porter the 3. Morris and Gortat together down low. And it's Satoransky in at the point.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Beal up top. Up top, Morris. Right side, Porter. Stolen by Levine. The 3. He shoots again. Lopez kicks to Markkanen. And here is Valentine. Tries again. And that's 2 points on the layup.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Here's Satoransky. He's covered by Grant. Gortat with a screen on Levine. Porter, no luck.
It's been a rough game for him, but it won't sting too bad as long as they hang on to the lead.
And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That's on Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, the defender all over it.
2.
The first one falls. Justin Holiday's checked in for Valentine. And then for Washington, Mike Scott comes in for Markieff Morris. And John Wall subbed in for Satoransky.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Now here's Wall. Pass to Beal. Porter kicks to Scott. And a little luck that time, but it drops.
Like the vision from Porter, not just looking for his own shot, constantly looking to get it to the open man.
There's the dish to Levine. Back to Grant. Outside, Levine. Right wing, 4 on the shot clock. From past the arc. A second chance effort. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. That's on Marcin Gortat.
Lopez. Now, this guy, he's a reliable role player, a stiff defender, and an intelligent shooter as well.
Morris is checked in for Washington. And he knocks down the first one. Both good from the line that time. Wizards leading by 4. Wall dishes to Morris. Scott with a screen on Levine. Porter kicks to Scott. Shoots over Markkanen. Scott can't get it to go. Chicago has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Levine against Beal. Levine kicks to Grant. Back to Levine. Unable to get that one. Good work defensively by Morris. Here's Porter. It goes straight through with the swish. And we're about 3 minutes into the 4th quarter. Now here's Grant. Lopez a screen. And Holiday kicks to Grant. And again, no good by Chicago. And here we go. Washington fast break. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
They used to say Markieff Morris was once a locker room distraction, but he's found a home here. He seems more at peace with the situation. He's putting up solid numbers at the forward spot.
And free throw good for Morris. You talk to Markieff Morris about those times in Phoenix. He and Coach Hornacek still talk as they went their separate ways. Seems it was just a bad situation for everyone.
Oh, yeah, when you're on a sinking ship, everyone will lash out. I'm glad Morris has put that behind him and able just to concentrate on playing basketball.
Here's Beal. It doesn't go for him. Now Chicago takes it the other way. And Levine, here we go. That one drops for him. Levine's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, no matter what, he's always going to be one of the most dangerous men on the court.
Wall against Grant. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Holiday, the pass to Markkanen. Makes it off the glass. And now it's just a 4-point Wizards lead.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Beal dishes the Wall. Nice ball movement by Washington. Here's Porter. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Bulls have gone 4 of 8 in this 4th quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. Down low, here's Holiday. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Now the pass to Scott. Stolen by Markkanen. And Holiday kicks to Markkanen. Here's Grant. Wall with a block.
Wall, I mean, one of the things that's underrated is that he's an insane athlete. Right there, he's just showing what an incredible defender he is with these type of blocks.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
Well, it took some time to develop, but Otto Porter is starting to put everything together. He was considered a bit of a project when he came into the NBA, drafted 3rd overall, but all the promises now being fulfilled as he is a great do-it-all forward.
And you forget at times that Otto Porter was taken 3rd overall, Chris, as you mentioned. He's shown great development. He's had a big jump in play year after year.
Yeah, but so often guys who are considered projects that are picked early, they never develop. Porter was a risk, but made sure he lived up to his draft spot.
Now here's Levine. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
And he has the chops for this, raising the intensity when it matters most.
But he's showing you he wants to close this game out. That's an attitude that he brings and is appreciated by this team.
I think everyone can now agree that John Wall is one of the better point guards in the NBA.
No doubt. At this point, when you factor in his production, he's got to be in the top 5, if not top 3 guards in the league. One of the better passers we have as well. It's just hard to find guards that can create so easily the way Wall can.
And he sinks the second.
What about the versatility of Wall? I mean, he's a nightly double-double. He continues to get better.
Wall against Grant. Outside Holiday. With some arc. And no good. Nice D from Porter. Washington leading now by 3. Here's Wall. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
He didn't let that first half get him down. He has come out firing on all cylinders to begin this second half.
That one misses for Wall. Bulls have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. On the wing, Levine. He's covered by Beal. Markkanen in the corner. And Markkanen throws it down.
And how about the hops there by Markkanen? He knows not many guys can block that shot. Good at getting that deep post position.
Here's Oubre. The Bulls getting the bucket. Left side, Wall. Porter passes to Wall. And the slam dunk by Wall.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Oh, that was sweet, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Not only can he set up others, but he can also be a big-time finisher.
Good work there as it goes. 11 points for Jerian Grant.
Nice pass there to set that basket up.
All with it. There's the pick. Now Porter. There's Beal with the 3. Markkanen pulls it in.
Well, look, his teammates are going to stop giving him the ball if he keeps taking shots like that.
Grant dishes to Markkanen. Outside, Levine. He kicks it to Markkanen. Markkanen sets the pick for Levine. Shot clock at 5. And the jam by Levine.
And I don't know if there's anybody who can match Levine when it comes to the art of the dunk. He is a highlight reel waiting to happen.
And so it's Washington with it after the Bulls pick up 2. And Wall kicks to Beal. Looking to get it going. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Chicago called for the foul. And he can't get the first one.
Now, the potential this kid, Bill, has is incredible. He's already a dynamic scorer. He continues to get better every offseason.
Portis, he's checked in for Chicago. He hits the second from the line.
Well, I mean, a semi-productive trip to the free throw line, but we'll see whether or not it costs him.
Grant against Wall to tie it up. Grant with the bucket, getting it done inside. Grant's got it all tied up now for the Bulls. Washington's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. And Wall kicks to Porter. He feeds it to Beal. A putback, Beal on the follow. And the Wizards lead by 2.
I love seeing Bill come alive in moments like this. When his team needs him, he steps up to the plate.
Grant kicks to Portis. Screen by Grant. They set the pick. Outside Holiday. Lopez a screen. 7-foot shot. The shot by Holiday, no good. For Washington, they've gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the 4th quarter. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Now it's a 4-point Washington lead.
Oh, Bill is a skilled distributor. I mean, he has a sense for when one of his teammates has a clean look at the bucket.
Holiday, the pass to Levine. Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
Well, that can come back to bite them. That's a huge error to make at this point.
Washington leading now by 4. Here's Wall. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And it's all about the quickness that Wall possesses that makes him so hard for defenses to contain. He's solid at drawing contact.
He drops the first one, and that puts them up by 5. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Yeah, showing off a really smooth stroke there, and that will add to their lead.
And Lopez throws it down.
Lopez isn't going to shy away during big possessions. If he has a good look at the rim, he's ready to shoot.
1:12 left in the 4th quarter. And Wall kicks to Porter. He dishes it to Scott. Passes to Beal from downtown. That one no good. And the Bulls going the other way now. Levine kicks to Grant. Lopez a screen. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Yeah, easy call.
So the first one drops, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. And Grant drops them both.
And that makes it a 1-possession game, guys. Got to be the biggest free throws of the game thus far.
Here's Wall, and he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
And this atmosphere is bananas.
Guys separate themselves by how they perform in clutch situations. Give this man his props.
And that one misses. Beal against Levine. Grant right side. It's Portis atop the key. Grant against Wall. The kick out to Holiday. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. From beyond the arc, Washington with the rebound, and now they foul and stop the clock.
Had to foul, and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
Taking 2 shots.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss. And he ends up making the second, and that puts them up by 5. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're behind by 5. There's 14 seconds left in the 4th. Guys, your thoughts?
And they're going to have to score. Quick foul. Can't waste any time here.
Well, it's a lot to talk about in this huddle. They'll also have to decide who they'll want to.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, John Wall.
And he's played this entire game on his front foot, Kevin. I mean, driving the lane, going to the rim with purpose, and getting those points the hard way.
Chicago with the ball, trailing by 5. Second shot opportunity. Holiday dishes to Markkanen. Levine for 3, gets the 3 to fall. Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. They're ahead by 2. 3 seconds left in the 4th. And the call will be against Robin Lopez. And so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game.
And guys, this is where their depth really comes into play. They've got such talent at that position. They'd love to have him out there, but they won't suffer much of a drop-off.
First free throw is good, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he gets them both, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Clutch free throws there. That should ensure they're going home with the W.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 4. Just 2 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, they got to get straight to the hoop, then a foul immediately.
Here's Markkanen. Count it! And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1.
And I tell you what, Markkanen has already mastered the art of the bank shot. Loves getting it up there and knocking that one down. You have got to be in his space if you want to disrupt his rhythm.
And so it's Washington who scraped by with the win. This win, such a tremendous emotional boost for them.
Really an accomplishment and crazy finish to take a road game like this and simply deflate an entire building.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. With John Wall. John, do you think this team has reached its potential, or is there still room to grow?
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Chris Webber,